I'm Miss Bailey. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about how to set goals. Most of us have goals we want to achieve, or at least we're told we need to set goals to be a productive member of society. But we also know, based on how much fun people make of New Year's resolutions, that goals often don't work out. So my strategy today is going to help you to achieve more by not achieving your goals. That's exciting, right? I'm talking about creating goals that are not 10% more than you're achieving now, which is the kind of goal that we usually try to set, like I'm gonna eat less sugar this year, or I'm going to get a 90% in math instead of an 80% in math, or even I'm gonna get a 60% in math instead of failing math this year. Those goals, because the end point is just slightly more than we're achieving now, we don't reach it. Think about it this way. Is it better to train for a 5K run, or is it better to train for a marathon? Both are amazing goals. Both are great achievements. But if I'm going to run a 5K in a year, I could sit on the couch for the next 6 months. And if I'm going to run a marathon, I'd better start training right now. And even if I don't make my goal of running a marathon in a year, I could probably run a heck of a lot farther than 5K in a year, even if I fail a little bit. So I want you to set an audacious goal, a moonshot goal, a 10 times bigger goal than what you're achieving now. If you think about that academically, it can include marks, but it can't exclusively be marks. Even if you're getting a 50% in math, you can't get 10 times more marks than that. So it needs to include products, it needs to include reputation, it needs to include being creative outside of class, and it needs to include the vigor that you're putting into studying your subject. Ask yourself, what would this look like? What kind of goal do I want to set, and how do I make it 10 times bigger rather than 10% bigger than what I'm achieving now? There are 3 strategies that I've come up with to help you do this. And they all start with T, which is very helpful for remembering them. 1, tinker. 2, talk. 3, teamwork. Tinker, talk, and teamwork. Tinker, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean create stuff, generate prototypes, play with Play-Doh and draw things and do a Rubik's Cube and create products. What would this look like in the real world? Let's say I were a ship builder. If I were a ship builder and I wanted 10 times the number of passengers to be carried on a ship, I might start with a model of a ship, and I might tinker with it and add things to it until I think it can hold 10 times the capacity. We don't care about the laws of physics right now. Those will come in later. But just start imagining what could be possible. Talk. For some of you, you don't like talking to people, you just want to do it on your own, and that's fine. Then find something like a journal or a whiteboard or sticky notes where you could think it out yourself. But most of us need a trusted friend or a mentor or a teacher or a loved one to help us. Find somebody who's optimistic, who isn't going to say no, and is going to challenge you to think even bigger with your ideas. Finally, teamwork. Teamwork is using the skills of others to achieve a goal or product. If you're on a soccer team, you don't all play the same position, but you all work towards a goal to achieve a win. If you are trying to achieve a 10 times bigger goal, chances are you're not going to have all the skills on your own. When John F. Kennedy announced that America was going to go to the moon, he was not an engineer and he was not a science fiction writer. He knew he would need both of those kinds of people to achieve that idea. He used all of NASA to help him, so find your NASA and figure out how they can help you and how you can leverage their skills to help you achieve your goal. Moonshot thinking should be limitless, and you should not be limited by your own skill set. You should look for people who can help you out. When I started teaching English, I wanted to be the best English teacher ever. I didn't set the goal of I want all the people to leave my class loving Shakespeare, although they do. I wanted to be impactful in as many ways as possible. So I'm not the best English teacher ever. There are way better teachers than me. But I've grown exponentially in my practice because I've researched what other teachers do, I've thought outside of the box, and I've learned a lot about teaching literature and language and media that I did not know before. If I had limited myself to a 10% bigger goal of just focusing on people liking Shakespeare, then I would have limited myself and all the things that I could learn, know, and achieve. Your 10 times bigger goal could be academic. It could be social. Is there a problem in the world that nobody knows how to solve? It could be creative. Is there a piece of art or music, design or theater or writing that has not been created yet, that's something nobody has ever seen before, and that would take 10 times the effort, that would be 10 times bigger than anything you've ever thought of achieving? Think about what your 10 times goal is, whether that's academic, social, or creative, and tinker to think bigger, talk it out with somebody supportive, and find your team to achieve it. If you set an audacious goal to, let's say, have a theme park full of dinosaurs, if that were to happen, that would work out great. But if you just create a theme park and there's no dinosaurs, that's amazing. But if you limit yourself to saying, I'm just going to do my physics and biology homework, then there would be no theme park, no dinosaurs, no fun. Another reason this is better than a 10% goal is that if you fail at your 10% goal, you feel really discouraged. Whereas if you fail at an impossible goal, you thought it was impossible to begin with, and you've achieved so much more than you would have if you haven't tried to reach that impossibility. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week when we talk about how to plan backwards from your goal to try to achieve it and use strategies for organizing your process. Please like and subscribe and comment below on what your moonshot goal is going to be.